Men today just aren't the same as they were even 30 years ago. You hear it all the time, and women are now saying there seems to be no real viable options out there to hold down a relationship and to build a family with. It's like men these days really aren't making it out of puberty, or if they are, it's like they finish halfway through. And men are suffering. Suicide rates are sky high, and they aren't finding partners and are choosing to just check out of life. And it's now normal to hear terms like men are trash or we don't need men. In the 70s, we had male role models like Superman, James Bond, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now men are stereotyped as goofy, weak, blubbering idiots like Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin, or Phil from Modern Family.
But why is it like this? If men have been traditionally masculine for thousands of years, what happened in the last few decades that caused such a drastic shift?
If you actually look back in history, you'll notice that what's going on today isn't actually a coincidence. It's a pretty obvious pattern that when times are easy, bad things follow. In the early years of Rome, strong leaders like Julius Caesar expanded the empire to the strongest in the world. And for a long time after that, Rome enjoyed peace and luxury. But over time, leadership became more and more complacent, and internal corruption and invasions led to the collapse of the Roman Empire, which sounds pretty familiar, right? Our grandparents crawled through muddy trenches and dug through coal mines to bring us the ridiculously easy times that we have now. And now masculinity is really no longer needed. And while having an easier life is good for us, we now know that all that's created from this is just weak men.
The diets we consume today would give the average caveman a seizure. The foods we're eating have next to no nutritional value and contain a dictionary of carcinogenic, endocrine-disrupting ingredients. Companies use industrial waste products as food dye and get extremely rich in the process.
28.7 million in gross commissions, all from
seed oils and machine grease.
Almost every restaurant has switched to using inflammatory seed oils, and the health industry is looking to make a profit off selling drugs to band-aid the symptoms of these poor diets rather than taking these products off the shelves or banning poisonous ingredients. And the effect this is having on men's testosterone levels and health is proven. Testosterone is down 50% since the 70s, autism rates have quadrupled in the last 20 years, and for the first time in over 100 years, we've seen life expectancy actually drop. Autoimmune diseases, cancers, and mental disorders are all a modern problem, and it all seems to stem from diet.
And not only are men eating shit that barely passes as food, but they're doing so inside, staring at a screen and fapping 3 times before they crawl out of bed. The life of the average man is almost subhuman. Even the jobs that we have to leave the house for are uninspiring, to put it nicely. Only 50% of Americans are happy with their jobs, and it's breeding men that are unambitious and simply checking out of their life. These jobs are so mundane that it leads men to escapism and an endless chase of dopamine. And after 40 hours of Excel spreadsheets, enough scrolling to turn anyone brain dead, and more faps than pages in a Chinese phone book, men have no life force left in them.
Not only is our food poisoned, but our water, our bathroom products, our kitchen utensils, and even the clothes we wear all contain endocrine disrupting chemicals that lower our testosterone and harm our health. Almost everything used to be made of timber, steel, or glass. During World War II, however, they needed a material that was cheap, lightweight, and durable. They started using it for parachutes, fuel tanks, and wiring. And after they realized this stuff was so fucking good, it started to flood our consumer market. Now basically everything is made of plastic. This has led to microplastics and hormone disrupting chemicals to leak into our bodies, which has led to a magnitude of health issues, specifically hormonally. And fun fact, researchers found that we consume over a credit card's worth of plastic weekly, and that a concerning amount of microplastics can be found in every human testicle. Even yours watching this right now. This shit is seriously concerning, and the deeper you look, the scarier it gets.
Oh, we didn't want to go here with this video as we're mainly a fitness channel, but it is true and it needs to be mentioned that modern day feminism has snowballed into the decline of masculine men. And the fact is, men are not needed anymore. Women got what they wanted, but gender roles got destroyed in the process. The average marriage lasts 11 years, and after that, she takes the kids with her, leaving the kids with no real father figure. They then have to seek father figures elsewhere, and they're nowhere to be found. Most schools are extremely woke in nature, and then by the time you finish school and are ready to go into the real world, men are left with all these woke ideals that keep them a loser. And every time that you try to stop being a loser, you're pulled down like crabs in a bucket and shamed for toxic masculinity. And this is why so many men are quite frankly scared to be unapologetically masculine.
Ooh, the internet. The shit this has caused. Men are dressing up as animals, doing their makeup. The place we call the internet has now been laced with feminism, poor male advice, and content that growing up we should never be consuming. Kids are growing up with skibbity toilet and twerking compilations rather than going outside and going on adventures. And yes, it might sound corny to kids these days, but believe it or not, growing up, this is what we did. We went out on adventures with our bikes with the boys, climbed trees and had fun. And I wouldn't trade that childhood for anything. But even the kids that had this childhood growing up then got stripped from their purity when the internet and social media became so prevalent. Even ordering food is now online. Men just aren't developing the social skills and life experience they need to develop into a strong young man. They're just getting an idea of how they should act from what they see online.
So if you haven't picked up on it by now, there are solid reasons as to why all this is happening. We've been like a frog in slowly boiling water, and men have essentially been going through mass castration over the last 50 years. And it's only now at the tipping point where people are waking up and realizing. But the good news is, you're not a victim. As a matter of fact, this should be like music to your ears because it makes it so easy to stand out as a man now. So here's 5 steps that you can actually take to do this. First step is exercise and diet. Yes, it's obvious. But if it was so obvious, there wouldn't be so many fatties. Like straight up, it still blows my mind how many people are overweight with the amount of information that's out there. And it's actually so easy to get in shape. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna fix your issue right now. So if you look like this, I want you to eat 3,500 calories of whole foods only, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, track it on chronometer, lift 3 times a week, full body exercises, and then track your weight and make sure it's going up. And if you look like this, do the exact same, except do it on 2,000 calories and make sure your weight is going down. And if you want to speed run this, you can do it on the Spartan protocol. But even if you just get like 1 year of lifting under your belt, you're going to look better than 90% of men. And that should be so motivating for you because that year is going to pass anyway. So why not do it while you're lifting and eating good?
Yeah, the most life-changing thing was definitely dialing in my diet and physique, straight up. 100%.
It'd be for anyone.
Step 2, media detox. One of the best things I ever did as a man was stop watching bullshit mainstream media. Shit like the news, the radio, and the music you listen to is all like a poison that slowly erodes your brain as a young man. You honestly need to just block out all the distractions and noise and take time to generate your own authentic thoughts. Because most guys can't do this. They just blabber out bullshit buzzwords and collective hive mind mindsets. See, masculinity is individualism. It's carving your own path in life. But what we've got now is a hive mind where everyone must think the same. So distance yourself as fucking far away as possible as you can from this shit and watch content like this.
Step 3 is to become independent. You cannot grow as a man if you're codependent. And this is a trait that I've noticed in a lot of people lately, and it's 100% why men get hurt so badly in breakups. They never learn to be comfortable alone, so when they go through a breakup, it's like their whole world gets torn into two. Men used to enlist themselves in the army underage so that they can get flown out to some battlefield thousands of miles away. Young men these days couldn't even comprehend that, and it's not your fault. We've been coddled our whole lives. But if you want to grow up to be an actual man, you need to step out of your comfort zone a bit. You know, sign up for a martial arts fight, go on a run without your maps, move out of your parents' home. Any of this stuff will build your character as a man.
Step number 4 is shifting your environment. You are, in fact, a product of your environment. And this is why I think school can be so dangerous for men growing up. 76% of teachers are female, and for a partially fatherless generation looking for father figures in their environment, this can be pretty damaging. This is why I tell everyone to join a sports club or a martial arts gym, because they are traditionally masculine environments that build character. And honestly, forcing myself to walk into a boxing gym and sign up was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life.
Step number 5 is to shift your mindset. The foundation to anything you do in this world is your mindset. And I don't mean to scare you here, but your mindset can pretty much predict the rest of your life. Most men are hyper emotional, and it's what women are talking about when they say they can't find any real men. We are in a discipline epidemic, and I think it stems from a lack of fatherhood. Traditional values like stoicism and discipline aren't being taught to our children.
There are people whose gender might be a little bit of both, or might even be neither.
What the fuck does that mean?
I mean, have you ever actually heard those words be spoken by a teacher in school?
No, I didn't.
But if you're looking for 5 mindset shifts that'll actually make your life better, I'd recommend looking into stoicism, breaking your limiting beliefs, delaying gratification, being grateful, and developing raw discipline. So yes, it is true that men are a shell of what they used to be, but don't become a victim. If you implement those 5 steps, you can stand out massively as a man. Just work hard and make the people around you actually proud. Don't fall into that doomer mindset, oh, the world's falling, so I'll just give up. Because once you start improving your life, you realize life can actually be amazing as a man.
We're on a mission to make men great again, so if you fuck with that idea and you like the video, smash the subscribe button and go ahead and check out the Spartan Society, where there are a bunch of like-minded brothers talking about concepts exactly like this. And it's also where we put all of our free resources, like our complete testosterone supplement boosting guide, free workout programs, free diet programs. It's all in there, so I'll see you in there, boys.